You know this game, but you haven't gotten around to it yet. Welcome, one and all, to the Backlog Gamer, the show where we try to answer the question, should you fast track this game on your backlog, or not? This week, the subject of our scrutiny is Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Insomniac's 2021 PS5 exclusive that waddled its way over to PC just a short month later. Now I know how much we all hate YouTube video foreplay, so let's get down to goddamn brass tacks. This game is excellent. I was an extremely casual Ratchet & Clank fan before this, my only prior experience with the series being when my cousin felt like whipping my ass in split-screen multiplayer, so I can't really call myself an old fan, and thus I was unsure of what to expect with this game coming into it, but boy howdy was it fun to play. It is true, there's not much revolutionary about the shooting mechanics, but I think the theme of this video will layer some perspective upon my opinion that this is a top-tier third-person shooter, lack of innovation notwithstanding. That theme is polish. The absurd level of detail and color in this world, or these worlds, is often breathtaking. Also, the fact that even when the action kicks up and you have robots zooming everywhere, shedding bolts and bits as you hit them, and even as you traverse the dimensions via the portals, the game never skips a beat. It's constantly fast, constantly frenetic, and constantly running at 60 FPS and above. I suppose now would be a good time to disclaim that I was indeed playing it on a PC with a 4070 and a 9.9 processor, so you know my specs now. But rest assured, if you have a similar rig, this game is gonna run great. The detail in Ratchet and Rivet's animations are also so weirdly satisfying to me. The glitchy phase dash, the bouncy strafing, the cool little dodge flip, wall running, rail sliding, and the seamless transitions between them all. It all just feels really good to play. I have to gush a mite more about the way the enemies take damage. It just looks so good. Similar to games like Doom Eternal, Insomniac have implemented a lovely sort of gore system, through which you can see the gruesome details of the mechanical murder Ratchet and Rivet dish out during this game. Take a look at the damage these flying saucers take as I wreak my wrath upon them with the ricochet gun, and then peep the resulting explosion once they've had a little too much. It all just hums. The animation, the vibrancy, the fluidity of the gameplay, and the level of detail make this feel like a truly deluxe experience. All that being said, let's discuss a few negatives. You may have heard other reviewers compare this game to a Pixar movie, and while that comparison is fair and apt and all things positive when it comes to the way it looks, you'll find some people saying that Rift Apart's writing also deserves a similar comparison. To which I say, my brother in Christ, which Pixar movies are you watching? Sure, there's a range in the writing quality throughout Pixar's catalog, but by and large, they usually get it pretty tight and pretty right. Right enough to entertain and even move people of all ages and walks of life. Does Rift Apart cause us to introspect on the same level as something like Inside Out? No, not even close. Does it move us emotionally on the same level of something like Up, Finding Nemo, or Monsters, Inc.? Does it at least bring us a barrel of laughs akin to Toy Story or The Incredibles? Don't make me laugh. And that pun is intended. There were a few moments in this game that made me chuckle aloud, like when the newly minted Emperor Nefarious offers a bounty of nefarious freedom coupons for the capture of his political rivals. I loved the idea that this dictator would create a currency called freedom coupons. That made me laugh. And it's moments like these that prove to me that the writers are capable of more subtle, ironic comedy, but they too often resort to jokes like this.
Can't anyone print instruction manuals anymore?
If that joke made you laugh, congratulations, I guess. You're the target demographic for writing like this, and I am happy for you. But might I kindly suggest that you refrain from comparing this?
I didn't expect to see you here. Considering my goons were meant to annihilate you 8 minutes ago.
To this.
You are a toy! You are a child's plaything!
You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity. Farewell.
In the future. If you think it's unfair for me to compare Rift Apart's writing to some of Pixar's very best,
perhaps you think you're being treated unfairly.
I disagree. These are the films people think of when they think Pixar. So when you say Rift Apart equals Pixar, I hear Rift Apart equals Toy Story, equals Incredibles, equals Inside Out. And really, it's more like Rift Apart equals Cars 2. The upshot is that the jokes and the writing in general in Rift Apart is really more miss than hit, unfortunately. And while there are some tender moments to be had in this 15 to 20 hour story, this ain't one for the ages. And that's a real shame, because had the writing actually been at that Pixar level of polish, or even just a little bit closer to it, this game would be nearing a 10 out of 10 for me. It's just so slick, so fast, so pretty, and so fun that if it was so profound or so funny as well, I mean, that's just almost fucking too much. A quick word on difficulty. If you crank it all the way up to Renegade Legend, you'll also find that this game becomes doomed for babies in more ways than just the cutesy gore, and I mean that absolutely as a compliment. Enemies will rush and flank you and fill the screen with so many projectiles that it can be genuinely challenging at times. You'll need to learn how to move fast, scrounge for ammo, and prioritize more dangerous enemy types, or you'll die a lot. I got my shit absolutely pushed in multiple times in the battle arena. But at the same time, the experience never crossed the line from challenging to frustrating, which I really appreciated. This leads us neatly along to the Backlog Gamer's patented difficulty scale, the most vulgar scale on the internet, in which we rate game difficulty based on the curse words that we thought, yelled, or otherwise uttered while we braved the toughest challenges this game has to offer. Starting at the bottom, we have Buddy. This is the least difficult kind of game, dare I say the friendly kind of game. One step above Buddy, we have Dick. Certainly not the kindest thing to call someone, but this isn't the most vulgar scale on the internet for nothing. We had to start the rudeness somewhere. That being said, a Dick game isn't really that tough. It just had me saying, "Ah, you dick." Something like that. Take another step up and we get Asshole, moderately difficult. Then we have Bitch, pretty damn hard. Before capping things off with Motherfucker, really goddamn hard. Now keep in mind that I did play this game on the highest difficulty possible, Renegade Legend, and therefore your mileage will vary based on the difficulty you're comfortable with. But I found this game to be a pretty comfortable asshole. Certainly not too hard, but certainly not a cakewalk either, with many combat encounters requiring 3, 4, 5 tries before completion, and some of the more challenging battle arena sequences taking me more like 10 plus tries to beat. I would like to bring up one more thing that is both a blessing and a curse with this game, that being the weapons. Blessed be the weapons themselves, because they're all ludicrous and wacky and full of personality, as well as really fun to actually shoot. You've got the Glove of Doom that unleashes a little squadron of ankle-biting clanks, the Ricochet, which allows you to deal consistent damage to enemies even from behind cover, the Topiary Sprinkler, which turns enemies into beautifully manicured hedge art, allowing you to deal some extra damage while they're frozen in that shrubby state. And that's just a taste. There are 20 weapons to collect in this game, and they all work on any enemy, meaning that if you're getting your ass whooped by a huge boss, you can use the Topiary Sprinkler to freeze it in place while you escape. This really surprised me the first time I tried it, and it actually worked. In many other games, abilities like this just wouldn't work on bosses. Unfortunately, every weapon being viable in every situation is also a curse. Because there are so many guns, grenades, and mushroom men, the game often becomes an exercise in just shooting whatever gun is available until it goes click, then switching to the next one, which is a real missed opportunity. In Doom Eternal, the player needed to think more carefully about which tools to use when, and also had to learn how to swap between weapons quickly and efficiently, or it was game over. It resulted in extremely dynamic and deep gunplay that I absolutely adored. But because in Rift Apart, weapon selection basically doesn't matter, it loses that dynamism. Opening the weapon wheel also freezes time, and this means that the game never forces you to truly master weapon switching like Doom did. This, combined with the fact that you're constantly running out of ammo, means that you'll be spending a large amount of your time swapping between these weapons in this static, safe environment. You may like that personally, but I think that the danger swapping weapons presents in Doom Eternal offers a much more engaging experience, and a system like that in Rift Apart would have only added to the frenetic gameplay. There is a quick select feature, but again, running out of ammo as fast as you do means that your quick weapon slots will become tantamount to useless within 10 to 20 minutes of gameplay, and you'll need to set them up all over again, which just became annoying after a while. But those are relatively little gripes with an otherwise beautifully polished game. Let's give it a rating based on our patented backlog scale. As we said at the beginning, the goal of this video is to give you a recommendation on Rift Apart's status in your backlog. Should it be fast-tracked? Should you remove it altogether? Or something in between? Here's our scale. Take the next exit. Honestly, just remove this game from your backlog. Keep it in the slow lane. Don't worry about fast tracking this game, it's not really worth it. In fact, maybe you should even move it down. Mid lane for a mid game. This is an okay game and you oughtn't to prioritize it. Leave it where it is. Get in the left lane, bud. Move this game up. It's worth playing. Fast track. The highest honor. Play this game ASAP. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart gets a comfortable get in the left lane, bud, from me. I must say as well, it's closer to fast track than left lane, but we can't round it up, so it has to round down, and here it stays. Had the writing actually been to that Pixar standard, and had there just been a little more thought put into what weapons you should use against which enemy types, this would have been an easy fast track game, and it almost is anyways. It really is one of the best looking, best running, and best feeling games I've ever played, and you will have fun with it. I guarantee it.